morning, Sunday, September 12th. I don't know about you, but for me, this weekend or this time frame, like the last couple of days and the next couple of days, pretty emotional for me. Maybe you can relate depending on where you were at 20 years ago. For me, I was in New York City, shared that with you, and it never fails. 20 years later, it never fails to get me thinking about life, get me thinking about purpose, getting to think about God's plan. And it actually reminded me of a story I want to share with you that I heard from a friend. And this was actually on a first mission trip back when I was in my 30s. And actually it was this person, this woman sharing with me a story from a pastor. And I'm going to do my best to share with you about this rope. And I'm going to talk to you about this rope. And I want to ask the question, what part of the rope are you focused on? Now, this has nothing to do with, well, it sort of has something to do with fitness. Listen, if you do join me live, just let me know that you're here live. So I see if you're catching this on the replay, just do hashtag replay or hashtag live. Either way, that lets me know when you come on and we can connect with each other. Good morning to you. So why do I share this? Because, I don't know where you're at. I know you knew where you were at 20 years ago. Chances are if you're on Facebook, you're older than 20 years. So you're probably anywhere as near maybe 40s or 50s or somewhere in that line. And so you knew exactly where you were, just as I knew exactly where I was during 9/11. And I shared a story about that personal. My wife was very close to the building and a lot of people died. And it was a very hard time in this country, in this world. It still is, honestly, the healing process. Even my wife and I yesterday watching some of the shows about it, just kind of rehashing it and going over it, really emotional. While I say that, it just has you kind of maybe do a little bit of a check on like where you're at in life. And I'll never forget the story, like I'd shared with you a moment ago, about hearing this whole thing about a rope and living your time in existence, all of existence, and this rope. And you may have heard of the pastor's name is Francis Chan. So you can go look it up, and I'm going to do my version of that now and share with you. But the question is, what part of the rope are you living on? So I actually have a rope here when I was here. This is actually a jump rope. It's not like a work rope. This is actually a weighted rope. So I'm going to share with you what this rope looks like. So you see, this is literally, it's a weighted 2-pound rope. I had these in my gym. I had one of them I kept. And you know how like ropes they have like the ends. Just pretend now, just think of this rope as just going on forever and ever and ever. Just kind of full on existence. Just going forever. And that's like your time in existence. So let's just think of the rope as your timeline of existence. And here in this little part, this black part here, this is your time on earth. So just think of it as your time on earth. And again, my question is to you, what part of the rope are you focused on? Now, I know a lot of us, most of us, the world, for the most part, this is your time on earth, and we're focused on this, right? Like as humans, a lot of us are just mainly focused on this. So, we start off as babies and then we, go to school, get a good job, make a living, and we're focused so much time here on this little part at the end, like retirement, right? Like we're in our retirement day. So we focus on all this money and saving and doing what we can for the last 10, 20, maybe years or so, hopefully or more, in our retirement years, our later seasons of life, right? But then there's all this over here after, which is eternity, somewhere you'll spend your time after you pass from earth. And what I loved about Francis, he shared this story, and I'm going to do my best to do a version of it. But if you want the better version, the pastoral version, go look up Francis Chan rope. But essentially, you think about this and looking at the decisions that we make, and if you think about our existence after, and you think about this rope that goes on forever and ever and ever to do. And you realize that what we do here on our time on earth can determine what's going to happen here. So my question is, why do we, and myself included, why do we spend so much time thinking about this little tiny space here in this little part of the rope, like the tip of the rope, right? The end of life, and that we're done with earth. When there's all of this, literally like the rope goes on and on forever and ever. And we invest so much, save, invest so much time just for that little bit here versus eternity. And it always comes up, and I don't know why, the last couple of years over 9/11 and knowing how many people lost their lives. And, I wasn't working down there, but I had worked at one point. The Marriott Hotel was right between the two. I easily could have been affected, but I wasn't. In fact, we were down there 2 days before, as I shared in my story. My wife and I had a beautiful day together out there the Sunday before 9/11. We walked between the towers. We even actually, to be completely honest with you, we even talked about, because we've never walked between the towers before. I'd always gone from the subway up when I've gone there to work at the Marriott Hotel, but we never walked outside. And I remember we even talked about, this is like where they had that bombing. It was like the front where there was that bomb a while back before 9/11. And we were talking about that. It was kind of crazy, really surreal experience. But it just kind of makes you reflect, right? And now just with the way the world is, and I know a lot of you guys have friends, family members, whether they're affected in that or the stuff that's going on in this world now. And it makes you think about maybe like, how are we focused? And, I wrote down a few things, and it thinks about like my investment in life now. Do I want to live for the moment here, like the last couple of years? Or am I living my life on earth here? And like what the Bible tells us, if you read about Paul, and what the Bible tells us is that it's for eternity. And people are like, no, but you got to live life now. You got to enjoy it and live it up and do it, just live it up, live in the moment. You never know when it's your last. And there's so many of us that are just focused on this. And they're like, you're crazy about thinking of this. You're going to die sometime. You're thinking, and I'm like, no. Like, you're kind of crazy to think. We knew there was, I got blocked there. We knew there was a God, and we didn't really have much faith. We didn't really understand, all this whole relationship thing with the Lord. And over time and over the years, and a lot of ups and downs in life, a lot of struggles. And we came both into having a relationship. The more and more we knew about the importance of what happens after you're done on earth, and why here is really, really, really important, not just for this little box. Don't get me wrong. I want to live and enjoy life, but again, to make it comfortable, life's not really going to be comfortable. I don't know about you, but there's always something coming after me. It feels like, I don't know if you can feel me on this, it always seems like something's trying to take me out. The enemy's trying to attack. Whether it's relationships, whether it's your business, whether it's your family, whatever it is, right? Maybe it's yourself, your mindset. But again, if we're focused just on this little bit of time versus what is going to happen after, like we're all going to go somewhere after, right? And the reality is what here matters, what you do in your life. We only get one shot. So why do I share that with you? You're like, Mark, you're like the fitness coach. You're the health guy, talks about weight loss and all that stuff. Yes, because I feel in my heart, God put it on me to get to as many people as I can, not just for him, although that's definitely a little side thing. If God's going to use me in my skill set as a health coach to help point more people to him, then that's a win for the kingdom. And I can't say, if you're a believer, that you want wins on the board, right? I want more wins on the board. I know God wants more wins on the board. And that means where, again, if I can help you potentially move closer to a healthier relationship with yourself, with your body, with your weight, to keep you around living really, really well and living as long as you possibly can and having a healthy, full life here, not just for this. My goal, yes, so you can live and enjoy the last seasons of your life. If you retire, if you have grandchildren, right? To do this. But I'm just going to let you know and be all honest, is I want to help you for all of this. You see, because if you can tune in to hear how important this is, and you only get one shot at your life. You only get on earth. You only get one shot at your life on earth. What are you going to do in between here? Is it going to be just for this, or is it going to be for the rest of eternity? And that's my question to you. So what part of the rope are you focused on? That's my question. And it's something that I love coming back to it. I try to use it as many times. In fact, I shared it with some friends last night, and we went out to dinner and we had a conversation, and it made me think of Francis Chan. It made me think of the rope, and they're wondering why Mark, how come you're not so like worried about the world, or in fear, or afraid, or all the stuff that's going on in the world right now? And I was like, well, it's not that I don't know that it's there. It's not that it doesn't affect me. It's not that it doesn't bother me, but I'm not focused on such a small amount of time, realizing that there's this after, this eternal. My life on here is so short. If I waste all that time on what the world's trying to get me to think and believe and feel and have those emotions and be afraid and be anxious, there's not enough time in my life that I want to waste it on that. Can I get an amen there? So anyway, my question to you is, again, this is something to think about. You can drop it in, is what part of the rope are you focused on? So that's it for me. A little, maybe a little ministry today, but I hope this helped. And I am not a pastor, but I can say that I am your Bulletproof Christian Fitness mentor. And if this helps maybe mentor you to looking at how you're spending your time here, and if you're spending it just for the short amount of time that we have here versus looking for the eternal value and spending your time on earth with value, so that eternity has, it's endless, right? So anyway, take care, God bless, and I hope you have an amazing, blessed Sunday. See ya.